I'm Herb Bacon.
And I'm Laura Mae Bacon.
My family moved to Grand Junction in 1948. I was in school, CU at that time. Laura Mae and I met in CU and finally got through school and moved here in 1953. Grew up in Bird City, Kansas, which a few of you in this room are quite familiar with. My parents were active in the Methodist Church there, and they worked hard in the community. Those were the Depression years of the 30s, but my parents were very active in supporting worthy causes, and when we moved to Grand Junction, they continued that pattern, and my brother and I followed what my father had always done, and that's how it continued. Well, I was in the bank at 4th and Main, which in those days was the United States Bank of Grand Junction, working with my father, E.L. Bacon, and my brother, Leroy. That continued for some 25 years. Today it's Wells Fargo at 4th and Main, and I'm still on the local bank board.
In Herb's work at the bank, he always managed to get involved in these special projects outside of the bank. And his family have always been good at helping out the communities they've lived in. They've lived in smaller communities, and Grand Junction's grown a lot since then. But it's very meaningful to be able to do something for the things you're involved in. He's done a lot with St. Mary's, and we had 5 children born at St. Mary's, and have had other occasions with the family where people were ill and needed the hospital, and it's been a very worthwhile part of the community. These past few years, he's spent a lot of time raising money for hospice, and that has become very dear to my heart. I can see what wonderful things that does for people in difficult times. Hilltop, we knew the stalls when that first became an important part of the community, and they have grown and taken over many of the causes that are meaningful to everyone in Grand Junction.
We are members of the First United Methodist Church, have been since we moved here, which is over 50 years. Anyway, working through the church, became acquainted with Justin Smith, his mother Dana, and Father Cal. Justin, as a young boy, stood up in front of our church and talked about MS and raising money for MS, primarily because his mother has MS. He probably was 8 or 9 years old at that time, and it was pretty hard for the congregation not to give him money. And sharp kid, he set up a card table in front of the church so that when you walked out of the church, you had to walk right directly by his table, and it worked. All about 3 or 4 years ago, 5 maybe, I was a mentor for Justin for a project that was through the Isla School of Theology, and so we became very good friends. And that really got us involved with MS. His mother and Dana and father are here this evening for this occasion and represent very well the MS constituency. The Isla School of Theology in Denver has been one of our interests for many years. It's a Methodist school. I served on that board at Isla for 22 years. Was chairman of the board for 8 years. And it's a very prominent theological school. At Grand Junction Chamber of Commerce, I was active with it, president 1959 and 60. Gee, that's a long time ago. Other things that I felt close to are Hilltop and Hospice. I've served both of those and helped with various construction projects, and they both have continued to prosper and serve the community. Another community project that I've been very involved with is Partners. Helped them from the very beginning, which is now about 40 years ago. Just very pleased to be a part of that. And they're in the process now of another building project for the Conservation Corps. That operation, and there'll be fundraising for that in case any of you are excited about giving away more money.
We started traveling with some of our good friends back when we still had kids at home, and took them on some travels and things. But then as Herb's career wound down and he finally retired, we realized the one thing that we really enjoyed very much was travel, and we'd seen a lot of the big cities of the world and all, but we had discovered that we really liked the far out, unusual cultures of the world, and to see how people live in other places. And we've been everywhere from the Arctic to South America to Bhutan.
We rode elephants and camels and that sort of thing. But seeing the animals in Africa has really been a treat. We've been there several times, and we've been most recently in far out places with India particularly. Bhutan is between India and China, which we enjoyed very much. But the more we travel, the more we appreciate Grand Junction. And I'd like to thank you all for our selection and to be honored with the Hope Award. I think there are many people that more deserving, but be that as it may, we're really very honored. A number of our guests this evening at the two tables that we have MS or have family members, or there's a connection with MS. That's why they're all here, and that's, I assume, why most of you are here too. And together supporting this thing, we're going to whip MS.